What's going on, everybody? Real quick, before we jump into this week's episode, I would like to apologize because it kind of looks like shit. I changed some settings on my camera that I thought were gonna help, and they really made it look kind of like shit. Next week's hopefully will be better because I'm gonna have the settings fixed. Also, because I had a guest, I had to extend my green screen, which you can see. It's two different colors of green, and the lighting setup I had when I shot this, it just wasn't optimal for that big of a change, so the green screen's kind of off. But I am happy to announce that I do now have actual lights, and this should hopefully make everything a little more balanced and hopefully a little more clean going forward. But it was still a really great episode. Kind of ignore some of the shitty graphics in the background. But I had a blast hanging out with my buddy Big Cuz, and this was really fun. I can't wait to see who I got next, and hopefully you guys enjoy. So again, I'm sorry that looks like shit, but hey, have a couple drinks or smoke or something. You want to be paying attention. Pay attention to us, not the background. Here we go. Let's go. Everybody to Titan Uncensored. Welcome to the Titanverse, and I have the biggest, baddest giant on planet Titan, my boy, Matt Muterspaw, a.k.a. Big Cuz.
What's up, man?
How you doing, man? I'm good.
Living, man. Doing my thing,
Yeah.
Just in school, man. Not so much in wrestling as much as I was, but I am working for Flophouse. I'm sure we'll get to that. But, I'm doing great. I bought a new car. I'm halfway through a education degree now, so I feel pretty good about it, dude. And I got a pretty positive mindset going.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, man. Especially, man, with a lot of shit going on right now, especially with wrestling being such a weird place, the world fucking being
weirdest fucking thing.
The weirdest fucking place. It's real good to have a positive mindset. But before we get started, make sure you go and like and subscribe and all that bullshit I always tell you to do. Share it if you see it. Where can we find you on social media?
You can find me on Twitter at officialbigcuz. You can find me on Instagram at thebiggestcuz. And don't add me on Facebook because I'm not going to accept it.
That's the worst.
Yeah, God. Like, oh my God, and some of the fans be sending messages to your family, your girlfriend and stuff. Oh, that's a no-go.
I've had them at my mom. My mom asked me, like, who is such and such? I'm like, that's the fucking fans. Why are they at me?
Yeah.
Don't do that shit. That's fucking weird.
That's creepy. That's
so
creepy.
Weird.
But do subscribe and do follow the Big Cuz pages. Just don't find me on Facebook.
Yeah.
Please.
If it's your government name and they find you, like, just relax. All right.
Oh, yeah. How you been, dog?
Good, dog. I mean, you're seeing what I'm fucking doing. This is it. This is what I'm doing. I'm trying to make this the everyday thing.
All right.
I work on it 7 days a week. It's a bitch.
Man, the other day I was thinking about how that match we had in Ludlow, where you hit me 37 times with a kendo stick.
That was just on my memory. Legit. If I put my phone up, I think it was today or yesterday. It was on my memories because it was on, like, the Bustin' Loose of our match.
And like, you hit me 20 times when I was down, but I counted another extra 17 when I was up.
And I asked the crowd to count with me.
Yeah, twice.
That was a good time. That's what wrestling's all about. Is just having fun with your boys.
It's match of the night.
For sure.
Match of the night.
That was one of the loudest pops. I mean, when we were going to Ludlow, that match was probably one of the loudest I had been involved in.
Did you ever think you get a crowd reaction with a 20-year-old kid that was 2 years in?
This young kid who was way too fucking big for his britches, physically, mentally, just fucking. How the fuck are you that big, when you're that fucking small? Like, I'm fucking like 5'9" on a good day, and I'm in my fucking 30s. And you're fucking like 7 foot for nothing when you're fucking probably like 14.
It was like, I feel like it's like a mixture of like genetics and the universe, because I was like kind of bullied in middle school. I was like tall, but I was never like filled out. You know what I mean? I was like skinny with a gut. You know, I played offensive line, but and people, you know, it is true. You know, sometimes people mistake height for toughness. I was not a tough kid. Like, I did not have thick skin. And, that changed.
I was the opposite. I was always the short motherfucker, but I was the first one to fucking trying to bite somebody or stab somebody.
Yeah, that chip on your shoulder, didn't you?
Oh, I did. Because my brother is fucking, like, you met him, he's fucking like 6'7".
Yeah.
And my dad's tall as shit. And I'm like, what happened to me?
Yeah.
I look like my mom.
And Nick's podcast brought to you by Bud Light.
I said this last week, I was like, I wish I could get $1 billion sponsor because I love to drink Bud Light.
Yeah.
But I got like 200 subscribers. I mean, ain't fucking.
I'm more like a liquor guy. I like beer, I guess, but I definitely am more of a liquor kind of guy.
Typically, I'm more liquor. I'm more like sweet whiskey. I need flavored whiskey. I should have a bottle.
Man, when I was a teenager all the way through like 22, I only liked clear liquor. But now, man, can slam some Irish whiskey. Let me tell you. Ooh.
I don't do Irish whiskey.
But
I'm Irish, so I'm Irish, but I can't do Irish whiskey. When I drink Irish whiskey, I turn into a fucking lunatic. Like last time I really, really drank Irish whiskey, it was telling what doing. I used to just have blackouts. I'd wake up with my pants as a fucking blanket.
See, I don't think I have ever blacked out drunk. Ever. Like, I mean, now,
It's rare.
I have been, well, I don't really feel like doing that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if there was ever a point, man, when I was like 15, 16, like, we would go hard out in Preble County in Ohio, me and my group of friends, and like, I mean, there were times, now, don't get me wrong, there were times where I would be so drunk, I literally could not, like, move. Like, because everything was so spinning. Oh, yeah. But I remember everything. Everything. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm smart.
I call it a brownout because I kind of forget, and then you're like, man, that was fucked up. You said about that horse. The next day, I'm like, what horse? Oh, you remember? Oh, yeah. And I told that bitch. Yeah. Like I forget until you tell me. Then it's like, yeah, I remember fucking everything.
And then so I've found that different liquors give you different kinds of attitudes. Oh, so, and it wasn't really prevalent when I was younger. It was more of like I'm just drunk. Like, oh yeah. But when you're in certain situations so many times and you're just a little inebriated, like here's what I found: I cannot drink tequila anymore. Let me tell you why. I like it, and I like margaritas, and I think it tastes all right. But tequila makes me like say things I don't mean, and like. It makes me word things terribly. It makes me feel like I'm not. It's the alcohol that makes me feel most not in control of myself. Yeah. Okay. I feel like I'm just saying shit and listening to myself say shit and like, oh, that was a bad idea. Why did you say that? That's not even true. Why would you say that? Like, what do you mean? You've never met Regis Philbin. Like, you know what I mean? Like. And also, too, people are like, oh, you're young. I played 17 years of football, and one of those seasons was at Ohio State. So my body's not quite at 100%. It's floating like a cool 75. Any athlete will understand. Oh, yeah. Any wrestler or any athlete will understand. Yeah. And it's simply, it's those who've never done that don't. Yeah. Because they just don't. They've never been running a sprint and fell and like hit your shoulder and your knee and your elbow all at the same time, and you're like, oh.
You gotta get up and fucking keep going.
Yeah, and then it nags you for life. Broke my ankle when I was 17. It's still swollen. It's the same thing with like the alcohol. You know, these kids are like, oh, drinking whiskey, drinking some gin, some tequila, and like.
Yeah, I don't know how the fuck they mix. If I mix like more than like 3, I'm fucked for like 4 days.
It was funny because like on New Year's Eve, me and my girlfriend were hanging out, and she drank a Mike's Harder, and she's smaller. She's like 5'3", probably 110, 120 pounds. Like she's
that poor girl.
So she like slams this Mike's Harder, right? Crushes it. Now, if anybody's ever been to like New Orleans or somewhere that has a specialty of making very large sugary drinks, I don't care how much liquor you can drink. I don't care how many 36 racks you can put away. One of them bitches will kill you. And like, she got so drunk off that one. She was hammed, dog. And that was the thing. She's like, well, I can drink liquor. And I'm like, it's different. It's just malt
liquor, girl. Like it's
malt liquor. Malt liquor makes you do greasy shit.
Like, everyone thinks they can fucking like I can drink vodka, I can drink tequila, I can drink da-da-da. And then you have one Four Loko.
Yeah. Well, just one, and you're trying to tip a police car type shit. Yeah.
Back before it was fucking like illegal, they changed the formula. And when I was living over by UC, it was when all that happened. When Four Loko first came out, it was like 15% alcohol, and it was like fucking like.
It was straight Red Bull.
Yeah, and it was like Red Bull and shit. So like, I think they said at the time, one Four Loko was like a 6-pack of beer and like.
This podcast is also brought to you by Juul. Try to quit. It's hard. I want to try. Fuck you, Juul. All right, continue.
But so when they changed the formula, they're like, we have to take some of the caffeine out and some of the vodka or some of the booze.
It's because it's killing people.
It's killing people. People are shotgunning it. So they took some of the booze out, and the store right by my house, Stop and Go, you had to get rid of the old product. So they would have pallets of this shit, like 12 packs wrapped in plastic of fucking Four Loko for like $6 because you had to get rid of it to get the new shit. I legit was going up there every day and spending like $20. Like once a day. And there was a point where in like the corner of my house was just these stacks of the old Four Loko. And this was back when Bone Crushers was down in Camp Washington. Mm-hmm. And one day I was like, yo, we should have a party after Bone Crushers. Everybody came up and everybody was drinking the old Four Loko. And
it's probably turned out awful. Somebody probably got in a fight.
I think, yeah, that might have been the night we ended up on Campus PD. I don't fucking know.
But here's the thing about whiskey, though, for me, that I found. Whiskey is like Wonder Woman's lasso, man. I cannot, like, it's truth serum for me. And, like, and especially Irish whiskey. I mean, I like Irish whiskey because I found, like, I'm typically, I consider myself an honest person. I always have, I'm not much of a liar.
Right.
But, like, it really makes me, like, spill, like, how I feel about anything. Like,
and for no reason.
For no reason, man. Like, I mean, I could be sitting there and I could be, mad about some show I was at, or they booked me terribly, or some match was bad, or something like that. And
nobody even asked you. You're like,
and then I'll just be sitting there like, man, fuck that place. Like, yeah. And beer just makes me like burp.
I got fucking burp right now. It's my third beer.
Who's got your belly?
Fucking Boilermaker down there.
Deedle. Yo, let's talk about Trailer Park Boys. Man. All right? Because I know you're a fan.
I love Trailer Park Boys. I've seen them a few times, and
I'm so jealous.
Fucking shit.
And you saw Leahy, I bet, didn't you?
Oh, the one. I went to one. I think I saw him 2 or 3 times, and he was only at one.
R.I.P. John Dunsworth. Oh,
right.
Man.
He is the fucking liquor man.
Dude, have you watched the new Jail series?
Not yet.
It is hysterical.
You watched it?
Yeah, I got a SwearNet account.
I need to. I was like, I didn't know until like right when it came out that it was gonna be on SwearNet.
Yo, we're gonna have to, after this podcast, we're gonna have to watch it. It's funny because the new episode comes out tomorrow, I think, or Friday. But yeah,
it looks dope. I love all the fucking shit.
I found a lot of people don't like that show. They think it's fucking stupid.
I've tried to show it to so many people. It's such a hit or miss thing. I try to show it
I can respect it. You know what I mean? I'm like,
yeah, because I mean, that shit.
Not shit like The Office. If you don't like The Office, you just don't have a sense of humor. Yeah. Like you really, it's because people. Here's the thing about The Office, man. Like, people hate on The Office. Like, no, it's not funny. It's just awkward. I'm like, that's the whole point. It's like they're real people reacting to, like, an awkward situation. Yeah. You know what I mean?
It's very grounded.
It's cringy. I'm like, well, it's supposed to be.
Fucking
like,
life is cringy, bro.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a conversation with anyone?
It's relatable.
Like, people who don't like The Office typically like Friends. Friends has a laugh track, and that just, like, fucking...
I hate Friends.
Like, laugh tracks in general.
Friends is not Big Man Approves. What am I going to get some heat?
Get heat for not liking Friends?
Fuck heat, dude.
Bro, someone out there is like, I'm not booking that motherfucker. You don't like fucking Friends.
Dude, yeah.
Trailer Park Boys, I remember, like, Dustin introduced me to Trailer Park Boys, and it was, like, one random-ass time. We randomly were hanging out, and he was like, watch this show. And we watched, like, 3 episodes, and I was like, I gotta go home and fucking watch this shit. Like, we started, like, episode 4. First episode I ever saw was when J-Rock had the concert, where he got caught jacking off. And then at the concert, and I was like, what the fuck is this show?
The first time I tried to watch it, my friend Devin, he was like, oh, dude, you gotta watch it. I was like, oh, I've never seen it. It looks fucking stupid, you know? It looks stupid. And then I was like, okay, I'll go home and watch it. And I made the mistake that you know of watching season 1, episode 1. Trying to start from the beginning. And I'm like, this is dumb. Yeah. This is so stupid. And then, like, I told my friend Deb for months. I was like, this is so stupid, so stupid. And then the Green Bastard episode he was playing when I walked in one day, and I remember just like, okay, this is hilarious. And I get if people don't like it. I get you guys out there that don't like Trailer Park Boys, but hey,
it's like complete like.
It's a hit or miss.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Fucking,
Like it's a hit or
bad
miss.
kid to like. Good people don't like Trailer Park Boys because it's not really.
That's not true. My dad, who was a cop for 30 years, he likes it.
Which is fucking great.
Well, yeah, there's cops in it. Yeah, like,
that's true.
The other day, I was in the kitchen, and he was standing there. And I don't remember what I said, but he said something like, "That's greasy, Julian." It's because I had I had a glass. I had a glass of like whiskey during Thanksgiving. I was drinking on it. He's like, greasy, Julian, and I was like, by the way, my dad wrote a book. Go buy it.
I was legit waiting for your conversation to stop because I was going to plug that because my mom was telling me about it because he was on the news like about like stuff today, I guess, and she was like, "You're talking about this book."
I had to take my nieces to McDonald's while he did that. get him out of the way.
Yeah, my mom was like, "I think I want to buy this book."
Buy it. Look. I got to read it when it was a draft. I got to read it when it was a final. I got to read it when it was published. It is amazing. It is awesome. Like, producers from Netflix is like Amanda Knox. She reviewed it. She loved it. J.D. Vance, who wrote Hillbilly Elegy. That's about my hometown, by the way. That's where I live. Like, my hometown has so much pride in itself for whatever reason. Like,
everyone I always I'm from Avondale, and I'm like, why is everyone has pride for their hometown?
Yeah, but Middletown is different. It's like, back to the book. That's important.
Yeah. What's it called?
It's called The Blue View. And just to give you a little background, man. It was like my dad. So he was an officer from 1991, I believe, or 1990 to 2019. So like 30 years, I guess. And he journaled every single day because his instructor at the academy in 1989. When One by Metallica came out, he was in the academy, and he was like, his instructor said, take a journal, do what you got to do because it's going to be stressful. So he's like, I'll journal, The first, from right off the rip, it's like, like my first day at the academy, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, it goes all the way. This man was a patrol officer into a supervisor, into a sergeant, into a lieutenant, into a deputy chief, into a chief.
That's crazy. That's fucking.
And he journaled almost every day. And so, yeah.
So you just fucking ride the ride with him.
That's
fucking crazy. I mean, that's gotta be fucking dope.
And the best part about it is it's not like war stories. Some of them are. Some of them are fucking wild. Like, sure, dude, if your stomach is uneasy, maybe take a breath before you read it. Because it's like, it's got some heavy shit in there, man. Middletown is not a small city. We have, I think, 52,000 people. And like, and he oversaw, I think, like 200 some officers at a time. It's not just war stories. It's how he felt at the time too. So like,
it was probably just started as like his personal journal. So
and so
get that shit out.
And I recommend it personally. I recommend it for people who are anti-police because I understand where you're coming from.
Right.
I do. I voted for Joe Biden. I get it. It's a very eye-opening read.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's very
because I mean you get to basically be inside his head what he was thinking. Like I said, he started as a person.
And I just want to talk about it. Like I just want to talk about shit from it, but I'm just not. I can't. I don't want to do that. Yeah, don't want to do that. You got to buy it. But I definitely highly recommend it. I know I'm his son, but like I haven't read a book since high school willingly, and I literally read this in one night. Like it gave me like chills and shit. It was amazing.
Right.
Some of that shit he went through.
All the shit he must have seen. Especially in fucking Ohio's fucking nuts. Everybody thinks like Ohio in the Midwest is like fucking
Nebraska. They think we're Nebraska.
Cornfields and
shit. Like
Ohio is
like we're still on the East Coast, man.
Florida's little brother.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about Florida, man, but like I feel like really fucked up shit. Like,
there's a reason we got 20
killers and shit here.
Yeah, man. Charles Manson was from Cincinnati.
Yeah, that's fucking like.
Jeffrey Dahmer went to O State.
Yeah, like Ohio. Like, wow. You can't live here and be normal. There's no normal in Ohio.
Yeah, I still would like to move to like New York or LA though, because that's definitely like that on steroids. I love.
I'm getting out for a few years. We'll see where I go.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta take this teaching thing, one day at a time. That's another thing about these goals, man. I can't lose sight. A lot of times, I'll just want to do something, and it's like, so I'll pursue it a little bit, and then I'll be like,
Right.
But like, I really like this is something I truly feel on the inside that I'm sticking out.
Yeah. Because I mean that's the thing. You always think because of the way you were fucking raised and shit. Like when you have a dream or a goal, like that's it. If I don't do this, I fail. But like it changes. When I started training in wrestling when I was 17, so when I was fucking 17, 18, and 19, I was like, this is it. I started young. I'm gonna be a wrestler. It's gonna fucking work. And then like fucking, there was a point where I wanted to be a cop. There was a point where I almost stopped training because I wanted to be a cop because I wanted to be in the CIA. I don't know why. I did. I went on the website and was like, what do you need to fucking get recognized? And I wrote in a journal like all the shit. I need the police academy, 2 years of fucking criminology. Like I was all do all this shit, and then 3 years later, I was like, I don't want to do that. And now I'm like wanting to do this shit. Like it can change. Like,
it changes, and like it's good for the first time in my life, probably for the last. I mean, ever since I left full time wrestling, that was the kicker. I'm gonna be honest. That was the kicker for me leaving full time. That means I was able to pursue other things.
Right.
And I went through a fat depression. And that really opened my eyes to a lot of things.
Right.
Including true inner peace.
Yeah.
I've never had inner peace like I do right now with my current situation. And I've never been like more motivated to like life is good, but I'm motivated to like make it better.
Right,
like way better. You know what I mean? And like because of my experiences in wrestling and all the depressions that I got through and stuff like that, like I'm in, man. Like I'm fired up. Like I'm fired up.
And I mean, like, when you get into wrestling, like it's fucking great. I fucking loved it. I mean, I would take it back. Like I fucking love it. But you get so like fucking like blinders on, like this is
you
it,
really do, and it depresses you because
if you're not fucking making it, if you're not getting other bookings, if you're not fucking selling T-shirts, if what you want to do in wrestling isn't working, it fucking brings you down. If people are like, oh that sucked, it doesn't matter if you fucking go out there and kill it, and one person goes like, oh what was up with that fucking da da da, that's all you fucking think about, and that fucking drains at you. But once you get out and away, and you're like, there is more to life, and you can focus on literally whatever you want to focus on.
Yeah.
Like, it changes your fucking mentality. It's awesome.
And it's my dad talks a lot about it growing up. You know, that's just what he tells it for me. He's like, you know, people go through stuff at different stages, and I had those blinders, you know what I mean? I was very like, I got to wrestle 4 times a week. Because, man, for 2 years, you remember, I was on the road 4 times a week.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah. I was in hotels, and because I had to. I just stayed in, even though I was wrestling in like one of them would be like in Louisville, the next one would be in Lexington, and the other one would be in Cincinnati.
Yeah, it wasn't.
You have to stay in hotels, man, because I live in Middletown. Yeah, so like that's so far.
2 hours like every day, or like that's basically having a job where you live 2 hours away from, 3 hours away from. Like you don't when you're wrestling like these many days in a row, like you don't want to fucking get up. Yeah, it feels great to be in your bed, but you don't want to get up early because you know you gotta fucking be down there, fucking call time.
Or you're gonna get heat.
You're gonna get heat, and everybody's gonna be like, oh, why wasn't he here setting up the ring? So it's like. Sometimes you gotta get a hotel.
I heard that so many times. Why ain't he setting up the ring? Like, mind your own damn business. You know what I mean? Like you don't gotta be taking down the ring either.
How the fuck are you?
Yeah. And I hate saying it, but like I felt like I can pursue my dream of being a wrestler through other means by just not working for people I don't want to work for.
Right.
And that is a big part of it, for me at least, is like. This is where we mentioned Flophouse, because Flophouse is the best wrestling show on IWTV. Come at me, like.
What are you doing with them?
So right now we're doing some shows on a closed set. Won't quite get into it. Would like the people to subscribe on IWTV. Use code Flophouse. I think it's either Flophouse or Flophouse AF. Usually you get 5 days free. But we got a taping coming up on this Saturday, actually. Really excited for that. Passed a negative COVID test, so
that's fucking. I'll drink to that.
Yeah, but it's a good show. It's the best. Wrestling is a mixture of athletics and entertainment, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
So it's very 50-50, and in a good way. They mix together. It's not like water and oil. It's like water and food color. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The matches are very entertaining. The dudes, oh my god, the people who run it are great. Like, it's a great thing. And you go in locker rooms like that, and you have all this good stuff. Like last show, we had Jazz wrestling there. She wrestled Randy West. It was awesome. But like you go in these locker rooms, and this like another locker room like this is IWA Mid-South. You go there, and everybody's like awesome. And then like if there's something you don't want to do, you voice your opinion, and they say, okay, we'll fix it. And if there's somebody bad in there, they're out. You know what I mean? And those are the locker rooms I want to be in. And
for sure.
Yeah, and you can, and a lot of companies say, you know, well, we're gonna do this. It's gonna do this. Well, like in the history books, I always say this lately. In the history books, what are they gonna write? I don't care how much back and forth there was. I don't care what he said, she said. At the end of the day, it's like the stimulus.
Right.
At the end of the day, nobody gives a fuck about Mitch McConnell or Nancy Pelosi, what they said, what Trump said. At the end of the day, 10 months pandemic, $1,800, $180 a month.
Right.
Man.
See, like I said, I mean, definitely, like, you know, focusing on yourself, getting your shit in fucking line. That's been fucking helping. Like, what else you got going on, man?
Man,
I fucking, like, we're buddies on Snapchat. Let's talk about this fucking bass playing.
Yes.
I see the shirt, and all I fucking see and hear from you is fucking Metallica. I see you fucking, like, just fucking killing it. Like, how's that fucking going?
I have a unhealthy stan type obsession with Metallica.
I noticed because, like...
And let me tell you, I will explain why.
We've been knowing each other for a couple of years, and then, like, it just seemed like... Like, did you just find out a couple of years ago about Metallica?
No.
Because I feel like everyone loves Metallica. I don't think there's no one who's like, Metallica sucks. Metallica's pretty well known.
The greatest fucking band
I think everyone, like, at least has a Metallica song they know.
Yeah, like, it's like Sandman or like Nothing Else Matters.
Everyone knows it. And then I feel like that was like one of your copings. Like last year.
Let me tell you.
You came out hot on Metallica. And now you see you fucking basing it up and shit.
Let me tell you how I got so hooked on Metallica. And I'm sorry. I know, guys, it's annoying. I'm sorry. It's just good for me and my mental health, so I'm going to do it.
Guess what? Mental health is above.
And when I'm in the car, I change it up. You know. But when I'm by myself, it's like almost strictly Metallica.
I need a drink out of here.
White Claw.
I need a White Claw because I'm trying to lose my fucking beer gut.
Yeah.
Can't fit have my pants now.
I went through. I wouldn't call it substance abuse because it makes me sound like I was shooting up and shit. Right. It was. It's exploring my mind. Yeah. It wasn't even a dependency. It was more of I was just having a lot of fun with various psychedelic drugs. Don't get hooked on these because they fucking suck when you're sober. Right. So what I started to notice is like, you know, I'm 21. I was like, yeah, I like to take acid and do shrooms and all that, smoke weed. But, it's maybe nauseous just thinking about it. Doing that shit, like it's like I'm like burping, man. Like, I mean, I was doing so much of that shit and smoking so much and doing all this shit. Like, it became to the point where everything I wanted to do, everything I wanted to see, like Halloween stuff, I was like, oh, let's do some mushrooms. Like, let's trip. You know what I mean? Right. It came to the point where I was just doing a lot. I'm not gonna say how much because that would just bury my fucking personality. But like, I was doing too much, and I was just having too much fun, man. And I finally stepped back and stopped, like. And then what nobody tells you, you know, your acid dealer doesn't tell you that that LSD cranks your dopamine levels for like 12 hours. And what goes up must come down. And it comes down quick and hard and for like days. You're like off. You feel like shit. Like you're just kind of mean to everybody. Like people seem to be very annoying, like for no reason. I remember going out with my friends like B-dubs. I remember just sitting there just like this because my friend was like, what's wrong? I was like, you guys aren't doing anything wrong, but like you guys are annoying the fuck out of me. Right. Like you guys are too fucking loud. Like you talking about bullshit. Like I just kind of snap on them and shit.
I mean, I'm not even on any psychedelics, but I feel that.
And
social.
Yeah, and like,
I hate it.
But it was like that like all the time. And then it got to the point where it was like, it'd be during the day. And then that was when I knew. I kind of looked at myself. I was like, yo, you need to quit. And then with that, like I said, what goes up must come down. I totally stopped everything. And then it became the worst depression I had ever been through in my life. It was crippling. Like I had to go to therapy. Like it was like I was sitting there and not drug therapy, but just like depression, anxiety therapy. And I would sit there. And I remember just sitting in my bed, like just sitting up and just freaking out about everything. Like anything I could think of. Oh my God, I don't want to go back to wrestling. Oh my God, I don't want to, like freaking out, man. And then I was shuffling music and I was trying to just because I remember I was listening to some music and I feel better, and I heard Metallica's Saint Anger album, the shitty one, and I was like, this is exactly how I feel right now. So for a straight month, it's a terrible album. It's a horribly produced. He has the snare on the drum off, so it's like a tin can when he hits it, and it's like there's no bass player. And so what I learned because I like this ain't Metallica. It don't sound like them. Like so I researched it. What I found was that album was made because the singer was fresh off rehab. Their bass player just quit because they bullied him for like 10 years. And that was like all that they could like. They're like, we got one shot at making an album and this is it. And they documented it in that some kind of monster documentary. And I remember just watching it. And I was like, that is me right now. Like I was like that. Like
Right.
I feel it. So then I started going, like, their story is very similar to mine. They were these kids, they're outgoing, you know, they fucking just did what they wanted to do. They
Right.
rocked fucking hard for like 4 albums. And then like, you know, then they grew up a little bit. You know, they started having some more adult shit, like in the 90s, you know, some slower shit. And then they fucking tanked because they kept partying and partying and partying, and then it just hit them.
Right.
It killed them. And then like they made that super shitty album. Then they made a recovery, and now they're making some good shit again.
Right.
So like that's kind of, I see that in myself a little bit. I think it's more of the dudes in the band as opposed to the music.
Yeah.
I mean, the music's great, but
Right,
it's more or less like the guys in there and like what they've been through. Like bass player got killed in a bus accident when they were in Sweden, like at the height of their like thrash metal shit. Like they found a bass player like a month later, so like you don't think that hurt? Yeah. You know what I mean?
Because they probably contractually had to fill that void. Like,
yeah, and
sorry he died, but you guys still need an album. Like, you know,
yeah, and I see that kind of in me, like that kind of journey. So I think that's why I unhealthily stand Metallica and wear their merch.
I mean, hey, everybody has that, you know.
Yeah.
Especially when you hit depression. Like, when you hit the fucking depression, man, that shit fucking sucks. Like I fucking had to see somebody. Like,
man, and that was the best thing I could have did though, because
you find something to find that relativity in.
Yeah, and I was like, a lot of times during therapy, you know, I thought I was gonna be told like, yeah, you know, everything's gonna be okay. Like, no, like a main thing in my therapy was like, yeah, it's okay to get mad.
Right.
It's okay to be upset. Like that's normal. Like you're supposed to feel that. But you know, you got to remember the light side of things. Yeah. That with every negative, there's always a positive that comes with it.
Yeah, you think getting into that shit first, like they're gonna say something that's gonna fucking everything's great. They're right.
Yeah.
But no, it's just about like coping and like it's a normal thing.
And a lot of the times, getting off that, you know, it wasn't hard to get off. I mean, it's not addicting. I mean, if anything, it's like you trip and then you're like, oh, I don't want to fucking do that again. Like. And then, but I mean, I just never did it again. I was having some gnarly thoughts, like not suicidal, not necessarily suicidal thoughts only. It was shit I would never say on camera.
No, trust me. Trust me, I feel you.
Yeah,
last year, I fucking feel you.
I was having some gnarly thoughts, and like when you're sitting there. That's the worst part of depression because you're thinking of that and you're like, why am I thinking of this? You're like, why is this cross my brain? I hate that's so bad. Like,
fuck did I think that? Why would?
Yeah, and it's like, and then you keep telling yourself, am I that fucked up? Like, am I that fucked up in the brain?
That makes it worse.
Yeah. The most vicious cycle is depression because it's like I can't do this because of this because I can't do this because of this. You know what I mean? It just. It's a tank until one day, man, I just fucking slammed the brakes on that shit. And I was like, no more.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it all comes down to is you got to fucking, it doesn't matter if you have a reason to yet or not, man. At one point, you have to decide, like, I'm not going to let fucking lack of serotonin and fucking depression fucking cripple me. Like, you have to, like, you find Metallica and shit, like, you have to find something. And it's not even that you have to find it. Because a lot of people think you have to go fucking find like a reason to live or a reason to be excited. Like,
yeah,
just live and like eventually like something will come along that like.
My girlfriend now, I've known her for a long time, but she was also one of those Metallica-esque things because I'm like I kind of like did her dirty a little bit when I was going through that, but I kind of did everybody dirty. I cut everyone off. Like, I mean, you remember, I stopped talking to you. I stopped talking to Shady. And remember, you guys were checking in on me like, bro, you good? We haven't heard from you in forever. And like, I'm like, left you on red and shit like that. And I didn't talk to my parents. I didn't talk to her. And she was, and like, we were like really close, you know? But she stuck with me through that.
Right.
And like, of course, she was mad. And like, you know, I would be too. But because like I said, you know, without explanation, you just kind of go, and because it was one of those crises where I have to take care of myself right now, before shit gets bad. Like, you know the scene where they're like, I was not about to commit suicide, but you know those scenes in like the shows where like they're about to commit suicide and they're just sitting there like, like that. I was at that point, and so like I remember just took my phone, fucking throwing it down, and just getting in my car. I had a full tank and just going. And I remember I drove. I had like $200 on me, and I was just like, I'm just gonna drive until I run out of gas money. I drove like up to Chicago. I like drove down through Indy and then like through Lexington back up to Cincinnati. And then I wasn't all the way calm, but like I was at least a little bit. That was just that night.
Right.
And I couldn't sleep for like 3 or 4 days. But yeah, she ended up like she stuck it out because she's an OG.
Right.
So
hell yeah.
Shout out Jess. And a big part of depression that nobody will tell you, part of the reason that you get depressed is because you make excuses. You look at outside things that are fucking with you. You know, you blame the drugs, or you blame the alcohol, or you blame your wife, or you blame your mom, or whatever. Like, you blame your childhood. That's one I hear all the time. Yeah, like, man, like if you really wanted something different for yourself, you would do it. Like,
especially now, man. Like, it's fucked up and crazy as it is. Like, there's so much more opportunity now with like social media and you can hit off of just doing what you love.
Yeah,
you can go on fucking Twitter and fucking just. Fucking, you want to play bass guitar, you can fucking just like posting fucking video after video after video. And it's eventually.
I never took a lesson either.
Yeah. Like,
never took a lesson. Learned everything off YouTube.
That was just a day you decided like, I'm going to do this shit.
Yeah, and I bought a bass. Like,
like that's what's dope. Like, nowadays, there's so many opportunities for you just to fucking.
And there's no reason. And part of the reason why I do that shit is because I feel, I mean, man, I can do anything. Like, it's like, I'm a smart fucking guy. Like, and I'm intelligent. I pick up patterns well. IQ decently high. Like, I picked up the bass. I was talking to Mike Green, and I sent him some stuff. He's like, yo, how long you been playing? I was like, 6-8 months. He was like, you're like really good. Because I play it for like 2 hours a day.
Right.
Like,
stick ass.
I just find some time, and anything I want in my life, I definitely try to find time for. And the things that I don't want are OUT.
Yep.
Motherfucker. Yep. Like, you know what I mean? And it's just, once you stop making excuses, it gets so much easier.
Oh, absolutely.
It gets so much easier, and I'm sure you know.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's been my biggest thing last couple of months. It's like setting all this bullshit up, getting more shit going, finding more shit to do, finding more reasons to fucking edit and spend my time, and just, like I said, like setting all this up. And I think every week I have one more fucking piece added in here.
Yeah. Looks good, though.
Fucking do your shit.
Looks good. I like this background. It's very, Fancy. High tech.
Future, you know.
Futuristic, yeah. So tell me about you, man. Like, what you got? Like, what you got going on?
This is it, man. I mean,
like, tell me about some of these investments you've made on this stuff.
The biggest thing with all this shit is investing in myself. That's all this shit is. I ain't fucking, I ain't worried about too much else. Like, I mean, all this shit is just an investment into me. The lights and the fucking cameras and the fucking microphone setups, green screens. That's all it is. I'm trying to finally invest in myself. In wrestling, I always thought I was investing in myself. But at the end of the day, I felt like I was just investing in someone else. I was making myself better gear or this, that, and the other for the company. For this company or that company. Yeah.
Instead of going out there and having some fun.
Instead of fucking going out there and fucking like, I'm investing in myself. Like, focus on me. My focus now is on me and not on a company or anything else.
Yeah.
I think that's my big thing now. It's like, I still want to wrestle. I will wrestle, but at the end of the day, like, this is my baby right now. Like, this is my investment. This is what I fucking want to do.
And I feel it, man. And I love when you clear your mind and you get rid of that negative energy, you can take on multiple things at a time.
Yeah.
Like, and that's I mean, like, the car and the school and the girl and everything, like it all, and wrestling. I mean, fuck, I'm about to do Flophouse this weekend. Like, it all works, you know?
Yeah.
One thing I didn't like about wrestling a lot was the fake tough guys. Not a fan.
Yeah.
Not a fan.
Most people think because you can throw a strike in wrestling, you're a bad motherfucker for real.
If that's what you want to do, get in a cage, you know?
That's true.
I bet you won't. But even then, I try not to think about them too much because that's negative thinking, you know? Like, I think about the people I do like to wrestle, like you and Eddie and DC and Kimba. Like, I love wrestling those dudes.
At the end of the day, it's just like everything else. It's supposed to be fun. I mean, people didn't start wrestling because it was a good job. They started wrestling because they like to do it. And that's fun. My favorite part about wrestling. I mean, I've done a lot. I've gone places. I've wrestled in front of big crowds, small crowds. There's a lot of bullshit. But at the end of the day, the thing I miss most is wrestling my friends. And
then when you're in it for the pop and you're in it for the fame, you're in it for the wrong reason.
Yeah. Always gonna be fucking.
You're in it for the wrong reason because because it ain't gonna work out like you think it does. How long did you wrestle?
15 years.
Nice. Yeah, 15.
And I mean, like, I'm not by any means done. I still definitely want to do it again. But I mean, after taking this step back and I have this revelation of how I want to do it when I do it again.
Yeah, and like, there's no point in doing it any different way than you want to do it. You know what I mean? Because what is the fun in that?
Yeah, it's supposed to be fun. At the end of the day, it's supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
Fuck that. I
like to tell the story of, I'm not going to name, but a friend of ours, fellow podcaster, he has that, I think it's his nephew that's disabled, has like Down syndrome or something like that. Man, walking out there, seeing him wearing my shirt, can't buy that shit.
Yeah. You were a heel at the time.
Can't buy that shit. Those are the moments in wrestling that you live for.
Yeah.
Fuck the fame. Fuck the WrestleMania. The 80,000 people, the $1 million. It's, when I saw that kid, I could not stop looking at him during that match. I remember just thinking to myself, like, this might be the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. And he looked so happy when I came out. And I was like, I'm glad I could do that for you. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, because I mean, that's what we do. That's what wrestling is for. Wrestling's not for
your us.
Ego and the high spots and impress the boys. At the end of the day, wrestling is for the fans and for that emotional connection, good or bad.
And it's very apparent that without fans, it doesn't work too well.
Struggles, man.
It doesn't work too well. It's the way you're trying to tell a story just don't work. You're not getting crowd reactions off of it. So, and then I think it's going to be difficult when crowds do come back.
It's going to be weird.
To get them back into it, you know what I mean? Like,
I would think the opposite. I would think when they come back, they'll fucking pop for a fucking.
I mean, yeah,
I hope so. I really hope so. Real crowd, not like now when they're like a lot of companies.
Yeah. Like the
capacity.
The social distance crowd.
So about when real crowds happen again, I think wrestling is gonna have a surge.
Man, I can't wait to go to a concert.
Yeah.
At full capacity. Metallica! Let me tell you a story. So one time, back in the day, like back in high school, I liked Metallica, but I wasn't like a fucking crazy stan. I knew like their popular shit.
Right.
But it's just a coincidence they fit into this story. When I was a senior, for Valentine's Day, my ex-girlfriend got me tickets, like you see the Ticketmaster logo, and I opened it up, and it was like Fall Out Boy live in Dayton. Okay, let me preface this. I hate Fall Out Boy. All right? They're terrible, in my opinion. The guy's just so whiny. So we go. It's okay. It's just okay. I mean, it's packed and people are screaming. The energy's loud, but just not a fan. And a couple months goes by, and I see Metallica post a video of one live in Indianapolis the same day. And I was like, hey, did you know Metallica was playing that day? And she was like, I thought she was going to be like, oh, for real? Like, she goes, yeah, my mom suggested that, but I thought we could enjoy Fall Out Boy better. And I went, we. I was like, I appreciate that, but I fucking don't. Like,
that's funny.
Oh, man. And then, I'm sick to my stomach.
Well, I think we're about hitting that top of the hour. So
absolutely.
We'll probably keep talking, but y'all gotta close this shit out.
Yep, and I'm gonna plug one more time. The Blue View. Buy it. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Twitter is official big cuz. Instagram is the biggest cuz. Thank you.
And I'd like to appreciate you, brother, man. I love you for coming on.
I love you too, buddy.
You're the first fucking guest.
Yeah, man.
There's probably gonna be some more, but you're the first fucking
Jumped
one
on it,
here.
bro. I was like,
First
oh,
one hanging out.
I was like, Titan's my guy. I'm down.
Yeah, I fucking appreciate it. And hopefully a lot of you motherfuckers see this and be like, hey, I want to go fucking hang out and get lost in the fucking Titanverse here in the fucking future. I hope you guys appreciate it. Make sure you go ahead and follow him. Buy the fucking book.
Buy the
all
book!
that shit. And you know what I always say? Like it and share it and all that bullshit. Share it if you see it. Like and subscribe. And go ahead and comment. Go ahead and fucking comment.
Comment.
Make sure you go ahead and follow him, follow me, and do all the fun stuff. We're gonna probably have another drink and probably continue the conversation, but you go fuck off. We got work to do.
Okay, Cyrus.
But make sure, most importantly, you smack your local pedophile and be excellent to each other.
Yes. And smack your local pedophile.
Definitely smack your local pedophile. See you guys. Rats a wrap. Let's go.